So, hi, Brenna. Uh, I know I've been like laying it on like super thick with this is my past, and this is what I did, and this is what I thought here, and this is what I thought there, and seemingly unrelated shit here. And I hope it was at least a little entertaining, even if tedious. The reason that I did explain why, but I want to say it again because you missed stuff, and that's probably my fault. One, because my shit tends to be a little long and rambly, and I cut it. That's the thing. I cut it, and it still is. But I'm not just self-indulging and just talking about myself. It's trying to make you see my priorities and what they are, because it's so friggin' important when you're talking to somebody. So yeah, you'll be talking to somebody, and they'll be like, "Well," and you'll be saying, "I think, I'm." So yeah, you're arguing with somebody or debating somebody, whatever word you want to use, and you say, "Yeah, well, this person that you like so much voted against midget porn." Okay. And they're like, "Well, what the fuck do I care about them voting against midget porn?" Well, because, and baby, midget porn is important to me. Okay. Um, or maybe it's kind of important to me, but it's not that important. It's it, well, it's good to know beforehand. Is midget porn particularly important to this person? Core values. I have a particular definition of what that means because people say my core values, and what they mean when they say that is the stuff they believe. I was kind of talking about that earlier. I don't think I used that term, but to me, let's say core values, they are what you innately believe, probably without ever having to be taught. And that's a hard thing to decipher from, even when someone's talking about themselves. But when I'm talking to anyone, you're a unique person for me to be talking to right now because you're somebody I used to talk to a lot when neither one of us were legal to buy a pack of cigarettes. I think I've spoken to you maybe twice or three times by either, hell, I remember even writing you a letter for your birthday like one year. And so you once that, and after that, I think we were 18 that time. And since then, I've maybe communicated with you in one way or another, like five times tops. And it's interesting because I know you, but I don't know you. And you know me, but you don't know me. And I find this fascinating. This is actually cool to me. So if I'm enjoying this for the wrong reasons, and I'm not trying to grapple with you because you kind of, it almost kind of comes across like you want that, and I don't, I don't mind. I just want you to know I don't mind, but I'm learning about something that people generally don't like to talk about anymore, or if they do, they just want to screech at each other, and that's totally that's more than okay. Okay, it's great, but I can't help but point out this is like really interesting to me because you're somebody from my past that I knew pretty well that I don't know. It's like a paradox. So it's like like this major like so yeah, I guess like it's interesting because one, you have to get to know somebody to understand what's important to them. So if I'm talking to a jihadist, I have before, by the way. That's you want to have a creepy conversation. Have that conversation. It's back when I used to be a bus driver. Oh, how many years ago? 2000, 2001. Ironically, 2001. And an ideological jihadist. I don't know if this guy ever blew anything up. You have to be able to know when what's important to that guy, why, and if you're going to change that person's mind, if you're out to do that, you really have to get down to the bare bones of what, like, dig deep into what motivates that person to think on that level. And I think we're both in that position here. Not that I'm out to necessarily change your mind, but I'm out to have a productive conversation. So that's why I'm asking you personal questions about, okay, well, what was some key points in your life and whatnot? Because a real conversation, you got to know that shit. I mean, because ultimately, when I have political, but we'll get into the meat of the conversation. I'm not going to push you to talk like about you all the time and shit. I'll at this point I will let you volunteer anything like that. I hope you do, but if you don't, I'll carry on just the same. We'll talk about Russia. Believe me, and why I believe that you guys actually have, when I say you guys, I mean people who believe in the Russian collusion, Russiagate stuff. I actually believe that you guys have that backwards. Let me just get that out of the way now, and we can have that conversation, okay? Because like I said before, we hate the same people. Well, sorry, we hate the same influences, internationally speaking, anyway, which is great. Because you talk about having to get down to the bare bones when you're talking to somebody like, if you had been part of the Watermelon Brigade, oh my God, I would have still talked to you. Um, you're one of there's a lot of people I won't, by the way. Remember when I said that there's certain people that there are people that I stopped talking to? Normally, had you been, I was still, for you, for you, I still would have talked to you. If my sister had joined, God forbid, would have been in the Watermelon Brigade, I would have talked to her, or my niece or my nephew. Um, I've never. That's one thing, even with family. Yeah, I guess that's about it. So let's see. So we get to Russia. As far as Trump goes, I can even talk about the pandemic if you want to. It's so you'll even notice when you go through my Facebook, even though the one that I commented on that the most I lost the password to some time ago for the email and the actual, oh, it's so frustrating because I lost a lot of connections I had that I won't until I find that bloody password, even for the password for the emails. Like, fuck. I think Yahoo even canceled the friggin' email. It's like, damn it. But you might find it productive to go through, my Facebook that I got here. You'll find everything you got to know right here. If you think it gives you something of like when you comment on something or ask something about anything having to do with this, Trump, Biden, Democrats, Republicans, whatever, Israel, Russia, Iran, Canada, England, France, Poland, Czechoslovakia, whatever. Going through, yeah, I mean, I'm very, very loudmouthed online, better or worse. And, if I mean, just lightly scrolling through it, you're encouraged to do that, and we'll leave it at that. But the thing that you have to know about pandemic is even if the entire left-wing narrative were true about the narrative, not going to fudge me. Why? Well, because by now, how big, how much bigger this is than that. That's it. That's it. That's really all I needed to say here. This one I'm really actually going to make short.